Well, hello there. Looks like you caught me before my walk in the woods. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting here on this stool and holding this book. Well, before venturing deep into the forest, I like to start by opening up my favorite book, the Tao Te Ching, and reading one of the poems to contemplate it on my walk. There's a universal wisdom inside this book that helps me to stay balanced. And each chapter contains its own little mysterious teaching. So let's see what it has in store for us today. TAOING. The way you can go isn't the real way. The name you can say isn't the real name. Heaven and earth begin in the unnamed, names the mother of the 10,000 things. So the unwanting soul sees what's hidden, and the ever-wanting soul sees only what it wants. Two things, one origin, but different in name, whose identity is mystery. Mystery of all mysteries, the door to the hidden. I really like that one a lot. Let's contemplate it together on this lovely wander in the woods. My friend Abba Zaba has joined me on this walk. He likes to get out in nature whenever he can to check out the mushrooms of the wild, as do most of us, I'm sure. At least those of us who appreciate peace and stillness, right? Which, if you've decided to join me on this walk, something tells me you're one of those wonderful people that understands that. So let's talk about that poem. The name you can say isn't the real name. This is something that is very easy to forget. People really do enjoy naming things. We love identifying and categorizing, like, what kind of flower is this? Well, its scientific name is Amaryllis belladonna, but around here, it's got a different name. My grandfather actually planted that flower in 1984, and it bloomed on the day I was born. It returns and blooms in different areas of the property right around my birthday every single year. And so my family calls it the James lily. So that's a very special example of how naming things can not only be useful, but fun and really sweet. But here's the thing. This flower is so much more than just its name and the fond memories of my papa that I attached to it. You know, James lily is not its real name in the grand sense of it all. And neither is Amaryllis belladonna. That's not its real name. And here's where we're going to get kind of far out. Let's look at these mushrooms, for example. Mushroom. That's a useful name that we can use to describe what these are. Is this one edible? Or is it a poisonous lookalike that will destroy my mind and boil it from the inside out if I eat it? These are things that are helpful to discuss. But if we can just stop thinking about these mushrooms in that way for a minute, I know it can be hard for all of us, but if we can just withhold from imposing our thinking mind upon it, if we can manage to occasionally stop ourselves from identifying it mentally with a name or a preconceived idea, a memory, a judgment, and just look at whatever little piece of nature that's sitting in front of you for what it is. Something simple but kind of profound happens. You know, that the thing you're looking at ceases to be a particular thing anymore, and it just is. It's not only just the mushroom, it's the tree that it attaches itself to and feeds on, the air that it breathes. And then once you notice that, you can go deeper. You notice something about it that is unnameable. Your desires to know what it is, and your silly pride in knowing what it is and why it is, or why you think it is, that all fades away. And you see something more mysterious in front of you. And then it's just you looking at this simple thing, not really thinking about anything else. You're just appreciating this thing. And when you find yourself in that moment, pay attention. Pay attention to that inner stillness, that blank space you've made inside yourself. That's how you realize the real mystery. That's your gateway to the source of everything. When you feel that, there's a quiet joy that just washes over you. It's so nice. All you got to do is just notice the tiny, unremarkable little wonders in front of you, like the knobs on this tree. You know, the sound of the dog wandering through the leaves, the feel of that moss on the fingertips, you know, the bright green color of it. The rock that sits and can be sat upon, the air that we breathe, that low, content wag of a dog's tail. The stillness that surrounds all this. That's where we find peace and happiness and true understanding. The understanding that we don't have to think about. We just feel it. It's the joy of being, the joy of the present moment. There's nothing else going on. And that's a hard place to stay. I know it is. It's so hard for us to not label things and pick those things apart and judge them for their value. It's so easy to get lost in thought over that stuff. But that type of thinking, even though it can be very useful at times and even enjoyable, if that's all we do, if that's the only way our brain can think, that rigid way, then we're out of balance. We've got the yang, but we don't have the yin. We gotta have both if we want to be able to experience true inner peace, even if it's just for a short moment. Those little moments are important, and the sooner we can realize that, like truly realize it, the easier it gets to catch ourselves when we start drifting into that mental state of naming, which is accompanied by judgment. Is it pretty? Is it ugly? Will it help me? Will it hurt me? Does it smell good? Does it smell bad? Is it alive? Is it dead? Is it nothing? Is it everything? Or is it both? We don't always have to know what it is or what it means to appreciate it. And that brings us to the next part of the poem, which happens to be my favorite part. So, the unwanting soul sees what's hidden, and the ever-wanting soul sees only what it wants. Two things, one origin, but different in name, whose identity is mystery. Mystery of all mysteries, the door to the hidden. So those are the two contradictory but also complementary sides to the soul, right? We all have the ever-wanting soul that sees what it wants. It wants to build a home, you know, and live comfortably inside it. It works hard to manifest that reality, and it needs to. It's a beautiful thing to be able to manifest an image in our mind of something we want to create, and then put the work and time into manifesting that creation, that comfort. Real joy can be found in that. But again, we got to think about balance. If all we ever do is want, we don't see the other side of that hidden door. We just see the door. Trust me, I've been there. I've spent so many years of my life working so hard to manifest a magical and whimsical reality for myself and my family. But it wasn't until I was able to step back and free myself from the desire to create that magical reality that I was able to see that it's already here. I'm already living in it. It's been here the whole time. When we can allow ourselves to stop wanting for a second and just be appreciative for what is, whatever it is, however small, that's where we find real peace. And finding balance between those two ways of being, between the detached state, free of desire, and then the playful state of wanting. That's the balance of being in touch with the source of it all, the Tao, the way of the universe. That is, as Lao Tzu puts it, the darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. We have now walked through that door to the hidden. And I want to thank you for joining me through that door. Let's do it again sometime.